Yeah, welcome to the program. Malo Lovers for Maria, Honourable Barbara Edmonds, Letai Afo. Kia ora, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Malo. And Vi'ilia Tua. I'm still the MP for Mana.
Well, first of all, congratulations. And congratulations. Mana. So, are you happy with the support of your electorate?
Oh, absolutely. I am, it's an honor to serve.
Yeah.
Whether it was going to be 3 years or 9 years or 6 years, I'm really honored that our community down here have re-elected me to come back in.
Yeah.
We had a really strong result here in Mana versus the blue wave that swept across the country. But yeah, I'm really grateful and thankful to our community, to my family, and to our Heavenly Father that this is the plan for the next 3 years.
Yeah, okay. So, why did it say the blue wave? Well, National winning the election of 2023. Do you know what happened to the Labour Party? What was wrong? Some of the Otelo Oitumalo, Malato, Marmalo, the National Maisifoi Party. What went wrong with the Labour campaign?
I think first and foremost is, the Labour Party is grateful for the support we did get, the votes that we did get, and we cannot take that for granted. We started at a very high height. It was unprecedented, it's historical, but we did lose a number of seats. And for us, we have a review that happens after every election. So we will go through that review process, not just internally, but also asking people outside of Labour, what we should have done better in order to win 2026. But I think, generally I've seen a lot of commentary around people were tired post-COVID. They wanted something different. I've heard people say they wanted us to go harder on tax progressive change. I've heard people say there was low voter turnout, so there was 4% lower than 2020. It'll be interesting to see where the ages are for that, for us. And in particular, we've seen some of our very strong seats, very low turnout, especially in our South Auckland block, we saw, some of that half. Yeah. So we have a lot of soul searching to do as to what needs to happen for us to rebuild for 2026. For me, I do the process of a booth by booth analysis here in Mana, which I'm sure other MPs will do as well, to see and then you compare that against the ages, and then you see what you need to do for the next 3 years.
Okay. Honourable Barbara Edmonds, I'm aware there was a meeting, discussion between the Labour caucus, I think on Tuesday, earlier this week. There were a few things that you were discussing, especially the leader of the Labour Party for the next 3 years. Was there any mention of Carmel Bologna, or you were sa autofifia Chris Hipkins?
Yeah, so it was at that meeting, which is called caucus, which is when our Labour MPs get together. We basically, the Prime Minister, or the current caretaker Prime Minister, our leader, Chris Hipkins, unless he steps down or somebody challenges him, he is our Prime Minister, he is our leader, and we're supportive of that. And the reason being is we want this time, everyone's tired, had a lot of emotions, and so everyone wants to be able to take some time and work through it methodically. We've seen what's happened with previous parties, both National and Labour, when on election night or very quickly after a leader departs. We saw it with the last National opposition. They churned through leaders over a process of 6 years until they got to Christopher Luxon. We don't want that to happen to Labour.
Yeah.
And also, Chris Hipkins took up the mantle just in January this year. He had a flood that same week. He had a cyclone 2 weeks later. He lost 5 ministers over a period of a few months. And then we had a hard campaign. So for us, we want the stability. Chris Hipkins is our leader. And of course, Carmel Sepuloni is still his, the Deputy Prime Minister at the moment.
Yeah, okay. What do you think of the new government?
They'll see. They've got a lot of new people coming through.
Yeah.
They've only got a few of those ministers, they've only got a few who have been previously ministers. It's a hard job. But, National won it, and our job now is to hold them to account because we know where the lisikis are. We know where the money is.
Yeah.
And for us is to, especially for me in the Pacific people space, is to watch where that money is going and when it gets cut. So that's my job from now, is to hold them to account for that.
Yeah. Okay, one of the things, Talanoa community, or the lack of Pacific MPs in the new government, for during the last 6 years, ile whangamalo le Labour, I'm sure you're aware of Telo Tatu Sui Puli for Pacifica, Tono Palamene. What's your thought of the lack of Pacific MPs in the new government?
So it is concerning. So you've seen, through the work of Opito and our caucus backing him, we've seen close to $600 million worth of investment into Pacific initiatives. So for our families who are listening, that's like the Tulor scholarships, which have just opened up, the Tuli Takes Flight scholarships. That's some of the programs that helps get our Pacific youth into work or employment. Those are the types of programs that we've invested that money into. My concern is that without a Pacific person on that other side of the House, because at the moment there is Angie Nicholas, who's won the seat by I think 30 or 40 votes. The specials are still to come in.
Yeah.
So she may lose that seat. It's just really concerning that there is, again, but that's the National Party for you. They don't put Pacific people high enough in order for them to be more than one person to come through. So it is concerning.
Okay, what do you think about I think the leader of ACT, Tom Whailato, a failure referendum about the Treaty of Waitangi. Olealo Silvia, what do you think about this?
No, I think that is the founding constitutional document of New Zealand.
Yeah.
If that's what National give up to ACT, we will be fighting it. And I think the whole of Māoridom will be fighting it. And we will be looking for support outside of just Labour and Māori to fight that. Because, again, that is the Constitution.
Yeah.
That is what we found this whole country on. To have that sort of, that's not a priority for us. Our priority is trying to get people, help with the cost of living.
Yeah.
And so it's really unfortunate if they get to that point. So we'll be watching and waiting to see what they do.
Yeah. So you're not supporting any referendum about the treaty.
I mean, even John Key, he said that he couldn't do that because as popular as he was, he couldn't do it because he knew that they would just be facing protest after protest, and it's a distraction from what they need to do.
Yeah. Okay. Honourable Barbara Edmonds, Pacific Arts Creative New Zealand Awards, the Arts Pacific Awards 2023. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. I was there with Ministers, Deputy Prime Minister Sipoloni, Willow Jean Prime. It was there to celebrate, artists who have been of such experience and bringing such a, high experience and pinnacle of some of them for their career. But really, it was a wonderful event, and you could see how much, just what Pacific people, one, we're smart, one, we're very beautiful, and three, we're very creative. But you could see the family and the support that was there from the different villages. You could also see a real diversity. It was every island that was represented. We had a disabled artist who was recognised as well. So we saw a classical violinist with Hayden, who's down here in the Hutt Valley. So it was a really wonderful award to see the breadth and the creativeness of our Pacific arts community.
Okay. There were Language Week.
Yeah, whakalofalahi atu. It's, and it's kind of tough. Our poor Niuean community, it's coming the day after a bigger weekend for election. So, but, for me, I've been able to celebrate it here in Porirua. Attended the flag raising on Monday morning to support our Niuean community down here in Wellington. Again, the Ministry of Pacific Peoples is still there, or at the moment. Let's ACT get rid of them, and we'll be fighting hard against that as well. But those language weeks, the support for the community groups, again, comes from the money from the government. So it's just for our Niuean families, we celebrate them, and we be able to to support them as we can throughout the week. Go to the Ministry of Pacific People's website to find more information about what events are on.
Right. Okay, Honourable Minister Barbara Edmonds, once again, whawhaftai tele lava, and thank you so much for your time. And once again, congratulations. Lo tu e pale mai lo tu malo e mana. Okay, yeah, manuia lava nei aso. And as you can see me and my colleagues on the other side, they are both wearing the Toa Samoa jerseys as we support the Toa Samoa. It's going to be a big game tomorrow.
Hey, that's the only blue I will wear.
Whawhaftai tele lava, manuia lava nei aso, manuia fo ile weekend.
Thank you very much. And Manuela asked to everybody in the weekend. And again, thank you everyone for their support, especially for Anai. Dr. Anai Irunebasa and Lemonga Lydia Sisene and Carmel Sipoloni. We do say goodbye to Anai and to Teresa and Gobi, but we know they'll be back. They won't be far away.
Yeah. Okay, whawhaftai lava. Honourable Minister or the Caretaker Government, Barbara Edmonds, Maletana Noanga, the Nei Fo Itai Fo.